Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Whatever time it is, wherever you're coming from, Cowboys Nation, you know the drill. Welcome to the Double XO Show.
Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the Double XO Show. I'm your host, Zach White, and with me, as always, my esteemed colleagues. They're feeling a little bit salty today, but we have Cam. The DMs are open, fellas, so go ahead and dive into those.
They're not.
You definitely do that. And then you got Daryl over here, Mr. Old Head himself. Grumpy old man, what's up?
Why I gotta be grumpy, man? I'm salty, not grumpy. That's the you don't.
Is it different?
All right, you know this is cancel culture. Your ass about to get canceled. We prefer salty. We don't like grumpy.
Okay.
Salty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're up in age, so that made more sense to me. Salty is like a newer age term. I wasn't sure if you would follow, but all right. So we're gonna go ahead and dive straight into this. The Arizona Cardinals. We played them this past Friday, and it was a good game. There was lots of takeaways, lots of positives, lots of negatives, but really at its core, what our main focus and an issue that happened in that game, an injury to Neville Gallimore. Cam, I know you got some inside information on that. Would you like to go ahead and share with us?
We do. And first of all, we know that it's a dislocated elbow and it's not requiring surgery. So that's fantastic. The initial reports of it being 4 to 6 weeks was a little excited to say it's more of a 6 to 8 week period that we're looking at losing him and his recovery. Source within the Cowboys has told me that their position on his position and finding a replacement is that we will have to consider our numbers for the rest of the camp and preseason games, and then we'll see what's out there that might be better than what we have. Not a panic spot, but something to keep an eye on.
Yes.
So the typical Cowboy response.
Yeah, that's still definitely concerning. I mean, from a standpoint of what happened, I am happy that it's only 6 to 8 weeks, that it's not more than it could be with him being out for the season, but still going to miss quite a bit of time, and that is concerning, especially up front with what we have going on with our defensive line. Daryl, how do you think this affects us as far as our defensive front goes currently?
Well, look, I thought it was. Look, we talked about it many times. We talked about it going, before the season started, right? When free agency was around, we talked about who we wanted to go after. I thought this was an issue even before Gallimore got hurt. I don't like it because they don't have an established, and I think you need a young bull, an established veteran. When you look at this D line, even through the first two preseason games, even when Gallimore was on the field, they weren't getting that disruptive penetration. They weren't getting that movement of the pocket. So I still think, it exasperates it. It makes it even bigger. But let's not pretend like it wasn't an issue when Gallimore was here. So I think they need to be on full alert and need to go out and not just get any old body, but they need to get, a body that can push that pocket or create penetration on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and it is. It's a major concern from the standpoint of right now we're almost thrust into being forced to kind of evaluate more quickly these players and Osa Digizua and Bohanna and both very, very talented guys in their own right, but they're rookies, so there's a learning curve there. And I've seen a lot of good things from them during the preseason, and that's one of my big highlights. They continue to look good in a lot of ways, but again, they're still rookies, and you got to think about the level of competition they're facing as well. So we'll see how that all works itself out. But from a positive and negative standpoint, we're going to go ahead and start on the defensive side of the ball. What did you guys see defensively that you just want to throw some salt on? Cam, go ahead.
And we've promised not to dog on him this hard, but we have to talk about the play of Mr. Number 9. I want him out there on blitz. I don't ever want to see him out there on coverage. He's a liability. We're going to get to the point that he's only out there on certain plays and other coaches are going to pick up on it. Just there was that one point that, he was going after the runner and it took LVE to get him out. He's got no lateral movement. And unless he's going forward, I can't see where he's a bonus for us right now.
Absolutely. Pass coverage with Jalen right now is a major concern, and it's a problem. It's a problem. I don't want to see it, and I feel like we're in a situation where we got him in pass coverage. It's not going to be good unless he's maybe playing zone, and even then it's still a little scary. So we'll have to continuously evaluate him. But we talked about him potentially even, on my list, personal list, he's fourth linebacker. I think Neal came in this preseason game and he showed out and he's looked pretty good for the prior preseason game as well. And he's a downhill thumper. And, I like that about his game. He's pretty decent in coverage. As we discussed, he's more of a player on the field type of guy as opposed to being, a practice guy. We've had those discussions, but I think there's a lot to Neal. But to me right now, it's looking like Jalen is slowly falling off the map. And there was still some good things, but we got to figure out how to use him because that's still a lot of money going off the books this year. And I'm pretty sure we're definitely not going to cut him. So we got to make use of that money, or maybe he'll be gone next year.
See, and here's the issue for me, guys. I think it's bigger than outside of the preseason games we're watching. I'm also watching to see how our front office operates and evaluates. Man, when you look at those, and we're trying to get back to a time, and this is what we miss about the whole Jimmy Johnson era, is when whether that worked out, him and Jerry was collaborating, whatever that looked like. Things were swift. If a player didn't perform, they were gone. He didn't keep rolling the same underperforming players out. And I know this isn't the 90s, but that formula is what I miss. And for me, to keep rolling Jalen Smith out there with what we're seeing, to just keep putting, and I know we're talking about defense, the Steels, the Knights, the guys that visually, even when you put on the tape, our eyes can see it. And I'm pretty sure as coaches, when they put on the all 22, they can see it. But why do you keep rolling these players out there and taking valuable reps from a potential, upgrade or getting someone new in here? And by the way, there's no doubt in my mind that other players see that. Jalen Smith is getting reps that an undrafted or a younger player covets, right? That they could be using to develop. So I just don't like the mindset of the front office, from what I can see as a fan, is that they're just going to keep rolling the guy out there. And my question to whether it be McClay, Jones, or McCarthy is why? Look, admit your mistake. Cut the guy. His roster spot is better served by getting, you know what I mean? And go cheap, go undrafted. But Luke Gifford, he's playing better than Jalen Smith right now. His instincts are better. So I just don't get the whole thing where it's pride. And if Jerry Jones is learning from his past mistakes, as he all told us that he was, admit that it was just a bad signing. It happens at every team, but don't keep rolling the guy out there.
Especially in a position that we have depth. I mean, there's no question how much depth we have at linebacker right now. This isn't a very thin position. You have him at 4. I've got him like between 4 and 5.
Right. That's just a roster spot, guys, that we could that's a roster spot. That's a special teams roster spot. You know what I mean? That's costing themselves. And look, special teams, and we all but they're a third. And if you got a player that can make an impact for you on that third of the game that you're giving up for a guy like Smith, it's a mistake. It's a clear mistake. So we'll see.
I mean, I'm going to go on the slight opposition to that. I mean, when you start dealing with things like, there's other things that take place into that when you're talking about like cap space and dead money and how Steven loves to save on money, and that's a big part of the issue, or I feel like it may have already happened. But depth is also important, and I don't know. A part of me feels like they think that he's somehow eventually magically going to return back to form. Truly, he looks slower. He looks stiffer. He doesn't look as agile as he was, as we all remember him being in that 2018 game. And he can still lay the wood. I mean, he still does a decent job on the run if he can shed the block. And I think maybe that's why he did put on that muscle, that weight, because that was an issue for him last year, was getting off those blocks. So we'll see where that goes. But let's go ahead and get rid of the salt real quick, and let's jump on some positivity. What positive things did we have surrounding this team on defense against the Cardinals?
I'm sorry. I liked a couple of players that I saw flash. Nasham Wright, he's a rookie. We still get it, but I think he's flashing, man. I think he's getting more comfortable in his skin. He's gonna make mistakes. Every rookie, they're gonna take the lumps. But I loved his play. And I loved, you mentioned earlier. I thought we all knew that Neal was a thumper. For me, my bold or whatever hot take is I literally would put him on the field with Parsons in my base package. I'd love to see those two linebackers together because I think they bring an element that's missing. I think they bring a certain level of nastiness to this defense that's needed. The one thing that has plagued this defense for years is the ability to create turnovers, and I think that's a mentality. I think that's an instinct. To see him make that type of play, I think it's infectious, and if other players see that, I think that we need much more of that. So to me, those two things stood out to me: the play of Nasham Wright and Keanu, Neal's a linebacker.
I like it. I agree. Cam?
I'm gonna say Dorrance Armstrong, and I understand the Arizona tackles aren't good, but he took advantage of it, and he played well. And not everybody's gonna have great tackles, and if that's the kind of effort we're gonna get, I'm here for it. And he had himself a day.
He did. He definitely did. And that's one that shined, whether it's against lower level competition. We've been waiting to see him to have some production to actually elevate his game, and you can't deny that there is some elevation there. So it may be the difference between him getting a spot here and maybe a 9 not getting a spot. So kudos to him. It was a really good game on his behalf. My guy would have to be probably Kelvin Joseph, right? So we know what happened. There was a big play on him from Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is a speedy guy to begin with, right? So he got beat off the line initially, and it happens. But what impressed me was that he had the ability and the speed to recover. So he recovered, happened to be a hell of a throw, hell of a one-handed catch by Christian Kirk. But to be able to keep up with a speedy receiver like that, I thought that was impressive. And we've been wanting to see him get attacked more so we could kind of see what he has and see kind of a prove it thing. That guy's, as far as Christian Kirk goes, that is a starting caliber receiver in the NFL. So that's really what I wanted to see from him. And potential, right? This is what preseason's about. See what you got, and let's develop. So that was my guy. All y'all mentioned it's very, very, very good play from some of these cats. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into the negative, and I'm going to lead it off. Connor Williams. You see the botch snaps, and immediately in my mind, I'm like, pineapple. Get rid of this guy. Safe word. Pull him out. We're done. Okay, we're done with Connor Williams, and it is a concerning thing, but we do have to keep in mind it is preseason. This guy is getting rotation there from someone who is has been a left guard since he's got here for the most part. To get some of those reps in his center, this is something that they maybe felt like they needed, but it does bring up an very interesting point to me, and that is Tyler Biadasz in trouble? Can Connor Williams, maybe not the way that he did this past game, but we're talking about starting best 5. Maybe he's there for a reason other than backup. Are we concerned for Tyler Biadasz, and is Connor McGovern also sliding in at that left guard spot and taking over?
Yeah.
Give me the news. Jesus.
Yep.
Jesus. Connor McGovern?
There has.
Y'all tell me. I can do this.
All D's gonna say is yes.
No. Well, I was waiting for you. Usually I jump right in. I'm trying to reserve
be a gentleman.
and let you go first this time.
Oh my God, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this imposter on our show?
I know.
Um,
What have you done with the real D? Danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Fuck it. Let me tell you what I think, Dan.
Boom.
Fuck
There
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm ready for. That's what I'm ready for. That's what I'm ready for. It's important. It's a serious conversation. I mean, we have to really think
Look,
about this.
I've always thought that this is more about McGovern than I think it is about. I think they would love to get Williams on the field. And by the way, I'm with you. I don't mind it. This is what the preseason's for. It's frustrating for us to watch, but it's what the preseason's for. If they're trying to find a way to get their best 5 on the field and they're seeing if the guy can do it, okay, I'm fine with that. But look, if you go back, they invested a 3rd-round pick in this McGovern kid, and I think that they've seen him get stronger. And Connor's athletic, but the thing that Connor's not, that McGovern is he anchors better. He's stronger. And I think you get bull rushed as a guard, and I think they're really trying to get – they've seen 2 years of him getting stronger and him having a more solid anchor, and I think they want to run the ball this year, and I think they're trying to get McGovern on the field as a position of strength. And I think it has less to do with Williams as a center as opposed to McGovern, right, as a better guard. I think he's putting them in a position. You think about that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be doing this if McGovern wasn't ready. They wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that guy on the field, and I'm all for it.
They're trying to get their best 5 on the field.
Right. And I'm going to have to add on to the point of that. I think that they feel that Connor Williams is better after the snap at center than what Tyler is. But he's,
Right.
He's got that. So, the snap thing can come along. So
Yeah.
I just feel that, that athleticism afterwards is what they really want on the field.
Understandable.
I mean, you imagine this, and this is all about your center has to be able to either get that reach block or get to the second level. And that's what I don't think how do you pronounce his name?
Biadasz.
Yes. That's what I
Biadasz.
don't think he can do. And I think Connor could easily do that. That guy was he's athletic as heck. But unfortunately, look, if you can't get Dak the ball, that's all for naught. Right? And then we can't be out of the shotgun. And that's where Dak's most comfortable. So I don't know. I'm rooting for him because I think, again, if and look, it's only been 2 or 3 times, geez. Give him a whole game for all we care. I hope they give him the entire game against the Texans, because if he can get that down with confidence and not have the yips in his head, whew, our line's better. There's no doubt about it. Our line is better with Williams at center and McGovern at guard.
I completely agree. And Connor has shown fairly well in these past 2 preseason games. And I think they're wanting to get, like you're saying, they're wanting to get their best 5 on the field, right? So they're trying to figure out ways to do that. And from everything that we've heard from, earlier in mini camp, and even I believe a small portion of training camp, it was, Tyler Biadasz's, not just rumblings of him not performing well or I guess up to standard. So, if Connor Williams can get that thing snapped right, we may have something good on our hands. But that is probably one of the most important things about that position is getting the snap right. But as far as other positives go, what did you guys see? Cam, go ahead. What did you see as far as positives from an offensive standpoint?
Well, those bad snaps led to something positive, and Gilbert was heads up. I mean, he overcame quite a few bad snaps and was able to make the passes downfield and read and react to it. And, as a QB2, that's what I want to see out of him. I feel much better seeing that, beyond the game that we got to see him, play in last year. But to see him, and I think he solidified himself as our QB2.
Definitely. And he was running around for his life a little bit back there with, the continued issues with, concrete feet, Ty Nsekhe. That continues to be an issue, still continues to be an issue. And we still continue to have an issue, particularly with that left tackle position backup role. And the swing tackle, and it's still a concern. It's going to continue to be a concern. But I said I'm done with the salt. I'm chilling out on the salt. D, give me some positives. I want the positive energy.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna piggyback again on what Cam started with, because I've been a Gilbert ever since I seen him last year at Pittsburgh, I just like the little things that you see for a backup. You want him, you want him to not look like the stage is too big and a moment's notice come in and they're not your starter, right? But the game or the stage can't be too big for them. And he just shows a lot of poise and accuracy to me. Do I expect him? He's a backup. I don't expect for him to be perfect, but I love the flash plays that he gives us. And I love that he steps into throws. You could see where he's anticipating, where he knows the offense and knows where receivers are supposed to be. He does some things sometimes that makes you go, but he's a backup. And I love what he showed. And I think the whole QB2 thing needs to be put to rest. I think it's too late to bring anybody else in here. He knows the offense. He knows the coaches. He knows the players. Let's shut that down. I think he is our backup quarterback. I also love the juice that the running backs brought, man. That Rico
Dowdle.
I'm bad at
Yeah.
Dowdle.
Love him and the other. I love his juice, man. He's showing really good vision and burst through holes, which you love to see from running backs, right? Vision and getting through the hole. And I think if he's going to be the third running back on this roster, I like it. And so those are the two things. And Cedric Wilson, I think he's solidifying himself as that fourth wide receiver. So look, between those three things, those are some of the highlights that I wrote down that I thought they did fairly well. I thought those three answered some big questions for us.
I agree completely. I do. I feel like Cedric Wilson is definitely taking on that fourth wide receiver spot as well. He's kind of got a lock on it. Your boy Dowdle's got to stop with the fumbles. But, we'll get there. We'll get there. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with that backfield scenario. And I liked my guy, John Ralston, right? The fullback, baby A-Train, just visions of Mike Allstott running through the line. Put a damn good hit on a linebacker over there. What's the rookie's name that Arizona got? We were looking at him. He's 6'5", 260. Zaven Collins. Zaven. How can you forget
Collins.
a name
That's
like
right, not
Zaven?
Collins.
Came there and laid the wood on Zaven Collins, and that's a big dude. So that's impressive to me. He's making plays on special team, and there may be a spot for him on this team if he can continue to produce and shine in that way. There's potential there, so I'm definitely looking forward to keeping up with him, and I hope that he continues to do well. One more good thing, we got our website up. That is starboysnetwork.com. That's Starboys with a Z, so make sure you check it out. It's got all of our content on there, from our XXO show videos, also to going to our Starboys report and the articles there as well. And all of our communication, right? Anything Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere we're located, we have a central place for that network now. So make sure that you guys go check that out. Also, like and subscribe to this channel. And one more thing, I'm not done. I have a special promo code to offer you guys, $5 off of your next purchase with 88 Stitches. So definitely make sure to check that out. The promo code is STARBOYS with a Z, all caps, no spaces. Thank you guys for another wonderful show. Looking forward to next week, where hopefully, maybe, Dak Prescott will return versus the Texans. Till then, we out.